Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to dive into one of the most important and most searched functions in Excel, VLOOKUP. If you have ever had a long table with hundreds or even thousands of rows, and you needed to quickly find the right piece of information, then VLOOKUP is exactly the tool you need. In this video, I'm going to explain step by step how it works, show you practical examples, talk about common mistakes, and share some professional tips that will make your formulas much more reliable. So let's get started. First, let's look at the basic syntax of VLOOKUP. The function is written as equals VLOOKUP, lookup underscore value, table underscore array, call underscore index underscore num, range underscore lookup. There are four main parts here. The lookup value is the piece of information you already know. For example, a product ID, an employee number, or a customer name. The table array is the range of cells where Excel is going to search. This must include the column that contains your lookup value, as well as the column that contains the result you want. The column index number tells Excel which column in the table should be used to return the answer. The first column in your selected range is number 1, the second is number 2, and so on. Finally, range lookup is optional. You can type false to look for an exact match, or true to look for an approximate match. Most of the time, especially when dealing with IDs or names, you will use false. But true can be extremely powerful for ranges, such as grading systems or tax brackets. Let's try a simple example. Suppose we have a product list. In column A, we have product IDs. In column B, we have the product names. And in column C, we have the prices. Now, if I want to know the price of the product with ID number 101, I can write equals VLOOKUP 101, A2, C10, 3, false. Here, the lookup value is 101. The table array is A2 to C10, which includes all three columns. The column index number is 3, because the price is in the third column. And I use false because I want an exact match. When I press enter, Excel instantly finds product 101 and gives me the correct price. The great thing is that if I replace 101 with 105, the formula automatically updates to show the price of product 105. This means you can create very dynamic reports just by using VLOOKUP. Now, before we move on, let me highlight a few important rules and tips. First, the lookup value must always be in the first column of your selected table. If it's not, VLOOKUP will not work correctly. Second, the column index number must not be larger than the number of columns in your range. Otherwise, you'll see the error #ref. Third, if you decide to use true instead of false, you need to make sure the first column is sorted in ascending order. Otherwise, the approximate match will return unpredictable results. And finally, when you copy formulas down or across, always lock your table range with absolute references like $2, $C10. This ensures the formula continues to point to the right data no matter where you paste it. Let's take a look at a more advanced scenario. Imagine we are working in human resources, and employee performance is measured by a score from 0 to 100. Based on the score, each employee falls into a performance level. For example, scores from 0 to 50 are level 1, scores from 51 to 80 are level 2, and scores from 81 to 100 are level 3. Now, instead of writing a long if formula, we can build a small table that defines the levels, and then use VLOOKUP with approximate match. The formula looks like this. Equals VLOOKUP employee underscore score, level underscore table, 2, true. What happens here is that Excel looks at the score, compares it with the ranges in the level table, and returns the right level automatically. This technique is extremely powerful whenever you are dealing with ranges, brackets, or categories that depend on numbers. For example, it can also be used for tax calculations, commission rates, or shipping fees. Of course, sometimes things don't go smoothly, and you will run into errors. One of the most common errors is #NA. This means that Excel could not find the value you were looking for. The cause might be that the value doesn't exist in the table, or it might be a formatting problem, like a number stored as text or an extra space at the end of a word. Another error you might see is #ref, which happens when the column index number is larger than the number of columns in your table. To make your formulas more user-friendly, you can combine VLOOKUP with IFERROR. For example, equals IFERROR VLOOKUP not found. This way, instead of showing an ugly error, Excel will simply display the words, not found, or any message you prefer. And here is another professional tip. If you suspect that spaces are formatting or causing problems, use helper functions like trim, clean, or value to tidy up your data before using VLOOKUP. Clean data means reliable results. So let's quickly summarize what we have learned. VLOOKUP is one of the most widely used functions in Excel because it allows you to search for information in large tables and return the result instantly. We saw how to build a simple formula to look up a product price, and how to use approximate match to create dynamic systems like performance levels or tax brackets. We also covered some common mistakes, such as the value not being found or using the wrong column index number, and we learned how to fix them using IFERROR and data cleaning. The bottom line is this: mastering VLOOKUP will save you a huge amount of time and effort in your day-to-day Excel work. And remember, this is just the beginning. In future lessons we will cover XLOOKUP, which is the modern replacement for VLOOKUP, and which comes with even more flexibility and fewer limitations. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, and stay tuned for the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.